Is buying new construction in 2026 a huge ripoff, or is it actually the best deal in today's housing market?
I mean, we've had buyers tell us they'd never buy new construction. They just don't see the value. But we've also had buyers save a ton of money buying new construction. So who's right? Hi, I'm Jake Wire.
And I'm Lexi Wire, and today we're going to discuss the pros and cons of new construction versus resale. Some common misconceptions and myths about new construction that we hear are first, that they won't negotiate.
And there is some truth to that, and I understand why people do say that. Overall, a builder is not going to want to lower their price on a contract on new construction because they are creating their own comparable properties for future builds. So cutting the price on one means cutting the price probably on all the ones that follow.
Not to mention for the homeowners that have previously bought recently, they really don't like to fluctuate on that sales price because it does affect the whole neighborhood.
I would be upset if I saw my neighbor got their same house for $20,000 less than I did. So I understand that piece of it.
So a lot of time where we do see the negotiations are kind of on the back end of things, like closing cost assistance, rate buy downs, design studio credits, lot premium credits, things like that.
And overall, some of these other negotiations can add up to a lot more than a $20,000 reduction of price. If you're getting a loan, especially $20,000 of loan value really isn't going to make that much of a difference in a monthly payment.
Right, but some of them are offering credits that you can use to buy down your rate, or they're already offering a rate buy down. So some of these, for example, right now, what we're seeing often is like a 4.99 rate versus, the current rate of close to 6.5.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people don't think about who haven't bought new construction in the past is a lot of the items that are on a resale are not present on a new construction. Like, you're not going to have a fence, most likely. You're probably not going to have a refrigerator, washer, dryer included, maybe not even gutters. Definitely not blinds. Yeah, and these are all out of pocket. The day you close, you got to think about that. You got thousands of dollars of extra stuff that you have to add to a house.
Just to bring it to like a living level, obviously you need a refrigerator on day one.
Yeah.
If you have a pet, a fence is certainly a priority.
And I think that's always a shock to a lot of our buyers that haven't bought new construction. They're like, wow, I have all the appliances minus a refrigerator and a washer and dryer. Why?
So some of these things can be negotiated into the contract, is what Jake is saying.
Yep.
The appliances, sometimes even fences, gutters, things like that.
Yeah, so that's where you get your value from the builder. It's not necessarily going to be negotiating from the top, the main line item. So.
And closing costs.
That's huge. That's huge, especially for, anyone really. Taking $40,000 out of your bank account for closing costs or $20,000 out of your account is massive. So if you can have someone else step in and put that in there for you, it really keeps more of your money liquid.
That's something that benefits everybody, but we are seeing primarily first-time home buyers really utilizing this right now. Having closing cost assistance is insanely helpful. Less out of pocket the day of.
The less comes out of your account helps everybody. It doesn't matter which economic bracket you're in. The next one, the second item that we're going to be talking about is we hear a lot of people tell us that they think new construction is overpriced. Now, again, I can understand the idea that you're buying a brand new product. You feel like you're buying it at the top of the peak of the price. However, builders, just like resale, they have to go with the fluctuations of the market. They're not going to have new construction like that's behind us sitting on market for months and months with carrying costs. They're going to want to go ahead and adjust those prices if they feel like they're not able to sell them.
That's right. Yep. They're affected by supply and demand just like everybody else is.
Yep. And so they might come to market and try a higher price. And if it doesn't work, they're having weekly meetings looking at the market data. And if they're not seeing the movement that they need, they will go ahead and drop prices quickly.
That's right. They are absolutely subject to whatever the market dictates, just like a resale is, whether it's a buyer's or seller's market. The builders will kind of mimic that as well.
And pro tip, we're talking about overpriced. If you want to look for an amazing deal on new construction, year-end, Q4, they're looking to move property because of tax reasons a lot of the times. So they want to get a lot of sales stacked up before January 1st. They will drop prices or give huge incentives to move those products right around that timeline.
Well, it's not always necessarily Q4 though. Sometimes it's not a calendar year, it's a fiscal year. So this is why it's so important to have us represent you because we're familiar with these builders, and so we know a lot of times when their fiscal year ends and when they have their big home sales and they're offering more, and generally we can really negotiate a lot of those things.
Well, all of our builder reps will just email us directly and let us know, like, hey, we have 5 houses that we're about to offer this for at this point, and you have to be in contract by then. And we reach out to our buyers all the time and say, hey, this is a great deal. If you're looking to move, now's the time to go and get in contract.
Yeah, they're trying to close out as much as they can during that time period. If you're enjoying this video and you find this content helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.
The next item we hear from a lot of our buyers is that new construction all looks the same. We hear the term cookie cutter neighborhood all the time. And it's really a little bit misguided. It really comes down to more of a price point situation. A lot of these builders that are building spec home neighborhoods are trying to keep the budget within a certain parameter, and the way they do that is by scale. They do a ton of houses that are fairly similar. They're going to do about 10 or 12 different models in a neighborhood, and they're going to reverse them and flip them and try to add different colors and things like that. But ultimately, it's the same 10 or 12 houses over and over and over again. So the term is a little bit true, but it comes down to a budget. You can go full custom on these houses and have every single house look 100% different as well, but it's going to be at a higher cost.
Yep, and those are the neighborhoods too that you'll find more mature landscaping. The builders tend to keep more trees and things like that because, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to cost. So, with some of these more affordable neighborhoods, they do just kind of tend to come through and clear cut everything and then just start building. So, in 15 years, they do all the landscaping, but everything has to mature and grow, and it's going to take a while.
Yeah, and all those neighborhoods that people just absolutely love. A lot of those trees started as 50-gallon trees from the nursery, just like they are here, but now they're 20 years old. This will all fill in. It will all look like a more mature neighborhood at some point. All these buyers and owners are going to eventually put their own custom spin on these houses. They're going to repaint them. They're going to add room additions, custom landscaping. So there will be some variation to the streetscape at some point. Just comes with time. So we all love being unique unicorns, but it comes at a price, I guess, is all it is. So if you have a budget like most of us do, this is a great option. You can customize as the years go on.
You are a unique unicorn.
I am. I appreciate that.
The next comment we hear fairly often is that new construction uses cheap materials.
There is some truth to this. We all used to love seeing those actual true 2x4s out of old growth lumber. That stuff just doesn't exist anymore. You're getting something that's not a true 2x4 anymore. It doesn't have the same growth rate or the strength to it. That stuff is absolutely true. But with that in the same breath, there are also some things that were done in the past, like aluminum wiring, cast iron plumbing, polybutylene plumbing. We can go on and on, the stuff that they used to do, single pane windows. So some of the new stuff, technologically speaking, is far superior as far as energy efficiency, as far as safety goes, that they're putting in these new houses that never were done 30, 20, even 15 years ago.
Well, let's also talk about, this is a price point thing as well, right? Some of the finishes are going to be cheaper on more affordable homes. And then with custom homes, you can have quite literally, whatever slab you want, whatever kind of rock you want. You can spend as much as you'd like, certainly.
Yeah. But I think the thing that we always bring up is that everybody is subject to the same building code.
That's right.
So regardless of what demographic price point you're buying in, you have to follow the same building code. You're going to have to follow the same framing instructions, the same plumbing, the same slabs. A lot of the same crews are going to be putting together a $300,000 house is the exact same framing crew that's going out and putting up an $800,000 house.
Yep.
So, and they're using the same lumber. So, you got to take that in consideration. Yeah, the finishes that you're actually seeing, like the cabinetry and the crown molding, that's all going to be a higher quality in those more expensive homes. But what's behind the wall, a lot of the time, is very similar.
And backtracking to building codes again, there are several different inspections throughout the entire building process. So you're going to have several inspections before, drywall, and then several afterwards. Yeah. So they should be keeping a pretty good idea on every phase of construction, whether you are in a more affordable home or an entry-level home for a first-time home buyer versus a custom home.
And I think when we're talking locally speaking here, North Carolina, the building code completely changed in the 90s to be much more strict as far as wind shear is concerned. So those old pictures you used to see in the newsreels where the roof is flipping off the house, that doesn't happen in the new construction. There's building guidelines that tie down the roofs now. There's building guidelines that make those windows more impact resistant. That's one thing I noticed when I got here, like coming from California even, that the building codes here are just much more stringent. These houses are fully engineered. We've also ripped out aluminum wiring out of houses and redone the electrical panels, pulled out cast iron.
Polybutylene, yep.
So we've firsthand seen some of the quality old materials that were in some of these houses.
So another misconception we hear fairly often, and it's usually after the fact, is that you don't need to have a realtor with new construction. And while that is true, you don't technically need to have somebody represent you, it's always a good idea. The building reps are great, a lot of them, but ultimately they work for the builder and they're gonna keep the builder's interests in mind before yours.
And your building representation is gonna be, like Lexi's saying, completely focused on the representation of the builder. Your own representation is going to take over and kind of protect your interests. And the part that's really kind of interesting that people have a huge misconception, even people that have bought new construction in the past and have bought in the past, is they assume that they're going to have to pay the commission for their buyer's agent. That usually almost 100% is not true. Builders offer the buyer agent commission. It doesn't come off the top. It doesn't affect your sale at all. It's just kind of your representation is paid for. It benefits them and it benefits you. The builder sees it as basically having an arm's length transaction, someone to kind of help the buyer along the way that they're not going to have to babysit as well.
That's right. And sometimes people think that they can get a better deal or more incentives by working directly with the seller's representation, and that's just not true. These builders have allocated so much funds for real estate agents. So, they're not going to say, can we take their commission and knock it off the top? That's not a thing. And if anything, because we work with these builders day in and day out, we know the ones that have great reputations, and we know the ones who have, not so stellar reputations around town. So that in and of itself is super important. Well, and sometimes you might go all the way through a transaction with a builder rep and have absolutely no problems at all. Yeah. But if there is a problem, I promise you that nobody is going to advocate for you better than we are. Certainly it's not going to be the builder's rep.
Right, and you will sign agency disclosures that basically the builder rep is having you understand that they represent the builder and not you when you sit down at the table. So it's written out in black and white. It should be no misconception about who they represent. It is not you as the buyer.
Now we're going to go ahead and talk to you about resales. This is a little bit more straightforward of a process, far less misconceptions. Typically, it's not as lengthy of a process.
Yeah, I think this is what people typically traditionally think of when they think of buying a home, is buying a resale home.
Yeah.
It's a very short process. You go out and you get your loan, or if you're cash, then you have your cash. But you go out and you look for a few weeks, you pick out a house, you go under contract. It's about 30 days to settle. You get the keys, you move in.
Let's not overlook inspections and things like that. So during the first couple weeks of the transaction process, we're gonna get all of the inspections done. We're gonna find out and gather as much information as we possibly can about that specific property. And then you have the opportunity to request some repairs with the sellers and move forward. Or if there's something, really scary that we uncovered, you have the opportunity to cancel as well.
Now, new construction can vary quite a bit on the timelines. If you buy a spec house, it can look very similar to what a resale looks like timeline-wise, and the process can look very similar. Now, if you're buying something that you're starting from scratch on new construction, we are married as a real estate and buyer for, it can be even a year-long process for that to happen, from picking out your dirt, picking out your community, doing the construction, going through all the inspections.
Waiting for the permits. Yep. So before closing, we do always recommend with new construction that you also get a home inspection. And the wonderful thing with these builders is they do use your inspection report kind of as a punch list, and all of those items are going to get fixed. We are going to verify that they are in fact completed and fixed before closing, but there is not really a ton of negotiation. It's a new house. It should be new. It should be perfect.
Yep. New construction versus resale, you have a builder 1-year home warranty, and then you also have a very lengthy structural warranty that's going to be on a new construction. So you can get all the way to the finish line, settle, you still have a builder that's gonna have to come and make things right if something is wrong.
And a warranty on all the appliances.
Right. Resale is a little bit different. Well, at settlement, you're kind of going your separate ways. You've bought the house, you've done your inspections, you've done your appraisals. It's your house, and potentially, if you didn't catch it, some of your problems could be your problems now.
No, they are your problems. After closing, that's why it is so important to have good representation and have us, we have a vetted list of people who we use and we trust, of home inspectors to roofing people to, every single trade you can imagine, who's going to do the best possible job for you to ensure that on closing day or, 2 weeks after closing day, you don't have some huge surprises.
Yeah.
Nightmares.
And we've read through hundreds of home inspections over the years. So reading a home inspection that's 50+ pages is not out of our wheelhouse by any means. We can definitely pinpoint the problems that are going to be substantial, the things that are going to be a Home Depot weekend kind of situation that maybe you're just going to take on yourself as a homeowner and you're okay with, and things that are going to cost you $20,000 down the road, we'll get those kind of pinpointed, addressed by the previous owner.
That's right. And as far as negotiations go for resale, we can typically, most commonly, negotiate the sales price down. We can also negotiate some of those credits to use as closing costs or a rate buy down. So the great thing though, one more thing about resales is, we were speaking earlier about potentially not having a fridge or a fence, and having a very blank canvas. With a resale, a lot of the time, homeowners have loved the property, they've added a lot of value to the property, they've upgraded, they've really done a lot of these costly, time-consuming upgrades.
Yeah, you can easily put $50,000 into a house that's new to a blank slate between landscaping and fencing and sheds and blinds.
Outdoor living spaces.
So there's pros and cons, like we said, to resales and to new construction in this.
So if you would like more information on new construction communities, current rate bite downs, and incentives, go ahead and reach out. We would love to represent you, and we are here for you through every step of the way, every step of the building process.
And everyone's not gonna be exactly the same. We'd love to have a conversation with you to figure out if resale or new construction fits your lifestyle better and your intentions on the move. My name is Jake Wire.
And I'm Lexi Wire.
We're the Wire Group, and we'd love to help you out.